Oh, this is sad news. I have some sad news that has been circulating around the World of Warcraft and Blizzard generally community that the hold on, let me pull this up. Yeah, Bill Petras has passed away, unfortunately. Bill Petras has died at just 54 years old. He was the OG art director for World of Warcraft, and he's been around for a very long time. He's been around since even the StarCraft days. So, yeah, I would say that this is someone who was absolutely foundational in shaping Blizzard's art style, and it's we owe a lot to him when we look at the world and the things that make every zone feel so unique, like why a place like Shadowglen has this feels like a little pocket, a mystical pocket in a nook of the forest that's nestled into a world tree. Why like other iconic zones like Westfall is so iconic, and Elwyn Forest. These are, I think, what I was thinking about his contribution this morning and what makes it so special. What he was able to do when you think about zones like Westfall and Elwyn, these are pretty conceptually simple places. Like it's just farmland and it's just like RPG human starting forest. But anyone can tell you that they're not generic at all. Like they never felt generic. And I think a lot of that is because of the care that he put in. You know, they're classics. You can think of when you think of Westfall, you think of the how it feels like a place that might be hot. Like you can feel the heat there and the golden fields of wheat, the knolls, the shredders there, the it's rustic. It's rustic. That's the word I'm looking for. And then Elwyn, it feels like the first page of a storybook or like uh I don't know. It's got like little cute little cottages. There's a mage tower. There's like small little lakes with murlocs and little streams. I really feel like Bill, he's a person who understood what it means to pour your heart into a world through your artwork and through the direction of the art, and it really showed because I think it if you're able to do this with your art, it can you can elevate the simple things into magical things, into things that feel like, oh, this is legendary, this is iconic part of your beginning part of your journey. But yeah, it's just a wheat field or it's just a pig pen. But for a lot of us it's been more than that, and it's because of the team. I think that it's like a sort of a subtle magic that's simple. And actually, somebody on Reddit has put a link to a video where he talked a lot about his contribution. And like there, I thought it was interesting. I might play like a minute of what he had to say, but it was very interesting to hear his perspective on what he was thinking about as designing the world originally.
I'm the art director on World of Warcraft, and I'm happy to
This is
A
him
huge
talking
impact in the game.
right now. Okay,
Hi, this is Bill Petras. I'm the art director on World of Warcraft,
that's Bill.
and I'm happy to introduce the lead art staff of World of Warcraft.
I'm Kyle Harrison, the lead technical artist.
I'm Brandon Idle, lead character artist.
Justin Tabrat, lead artist.
I'm Kevin Beardsley, the lead animator.
One of the biggest things that we did early on is we really had to look at the Warcraft look, and we really had to figure out, hey guys, what are we actually going to be doing in this project? We did a lot of experiments with different scales of exaggeration. We also had a different style for the textures. And
The first thing was like, okay, we need huge shoulders and we need spikes. Just spikes everywhere, man.
realized that it wasn't the Warcraft look. It was not there, and we had to modify that look. And what you see today is basically the blood, sweat, and tears of many years of work to try and get that style. And in some ways, we actually pushed the style. We really wanted to make our game feel like multiple artists just really lovingly rendered this game out. Everywhere from the animations to the modeling to the texturing to the lighting, the exaggerated scales of things. The animations filled with character.
You can just tell by, strongly exaggerated poses and animation.
Yeah, like if you look at this animation of the orcs are so extra and so over the top. It's cartoony, but in a way that I always thought was really charming.
That, we drew from Frazetta and Disney.
Yeah, it is
references that
exaggerated.
we drew from really
Disney.
strong references.
With the environmental work,
Inspiration.
some of the major influences obviously were like N.C. Wyeth, Howard Pyle, Dean Cornwell, some of the older American landscape artists. We really wanted to capture that atmosphere, that feel in our game where you
Thousand
go from
Needles.
one area to the other and you can feel the heat of the zone.
Right.
It's interesting when you're working on a project like this, as complicated and as big it is, because you don't really...
That's really interesting that I hate to pause it every 2 seconds. I'm not going to play the whole entire thing. I know it's super long, but how they looked at the work of American landscape artists and the inspiration for building some of these zones and how iconic they are. Thousand Needles, I'll never ever forget going through there for the first time, me and my brother, all those years ago. And every time I'm in that zone, I think I bring up the story of my brother. He got there first, and I think I was in another room, and he ran back into the living room or wherever I was, and he's like, "Oh man, you gotta come look. You're never gonna believe this. You gotta come look and see." And I went back to see where he had gotten to, and he had gotten to the Shimmering Flats, which Thousand Needles is such a crazy experience to go through it. First, you go down the elevator, the rickety elevator. There's these like towering pillars all through, and then all of a sudden, that's it. And it opens up to this gigantic, incredibly flat, shimmering plain, salt flat, with nothing else on it. It's just gray for like as far as you can see. And my brother was just so amazed by this. Like, it's flat, right? And I'm like, yeah, it's pretty dang flat. Thank you, Bill. Thank you for that moment, Bill.
You see all the pieces come together at the same time. This
It was
particular
so
artist
flat.
does his job over here, and it takes a while for it to get into the game and to be played. And at some point in development, I don't really remember when, just when all of it started to come together, and we were just really
This is Bill
excited
talking,
to be like,
by the way.
wow, this really is coming together. I don't remember exactly when that was. When was that?
I think it was when Westfall kind of
Westfall?
got put together.
Mm.
Yeah.
The lighting came together, the textures came together, the player character, one of our first creatures, the Knoll, basically just nailed that Warcraft look and feel, both with texture, model, and animation. I mean, I think that's when it came together.
Westfall was definitely the start
That's awesome.
of really capturing the look of what the game was going to be.
One thing that I think really sets WoW apart from other games out there is that we really refuse to go down the assembly line process. Every time we approached a new zone or a new area that the player would explore, we wanted them to be completely rewarded in every way whatsoever. So from the lighting to the sky, all the way down to just the little brush and brambles on the ground or the ambient creatures that would be running around that area, we made sure that it was fresh every time.
Holy crap. This is an interesting perspective, and I think you can see it. I think that's evident in the work itself. He said we didn't want to go through the assembly line process for each zone. Like, they didn't want to just go into creation with the mindset of checking boxes off of a list of, we need this town to be like this, we need this to be like this. They didn't do it like that at all. They approached it really with the spirit of creation and play. And that's why every single one feels so different. Like, I'm looking at Duskwood. Man, they had banger after banger because of this philosophy where, I mean, you have this graveyard on the other side of town. Abercrombie, that weird guy in his little shed. Obviously, Stitches is this monstrous thing that lumbers through the long road. And if you want to escape Stitches, you have to, like, hide down in the gutter, basically. And I think they did a great job with environmental storytelling in that way.
And we came through and meticulously created new art, new even techniques each time we got to a new area.
I think the team was never really happy with just what we were working with. We always were pushing the envelope. We always wanted to just maximize the technology that we had. We made sure that our textures worked twice as hard.
It was really refreshing to have different perspectives from all over the art department. Whether texture artists came in and commented on the animation.
Yeah, the throne room.
Or a designer walked in and said, "Oh, I think this would look cooler if it was bigger." It was really an open back and forth communication, which I think, in the long run, it's a very iterative process. It might take.
I don't know if you know this, but if you stand in the throne room and you have the music off and you have ambience all the way up, you'll be able to hear the voices of King Teranos Menethil speaking to Arthas right before he was killed. Yeah, you should spend some time doing that.
Than, say,
they didn't need to do that, and it's something most people would not even notice.
For method doing it, but
it's there.
I think in the end it works out for the best, and everyone kind of gets their 2 cents in on some stage of the game there.
So, like I said, I wasn't going to play the whole thing. I just want to play a couple minutes of it, but I will link this to you so that you can, if you want to listen to the entire interview, you can. But I think that it reveals a lot about the reason, sometimes the subtle reasons why things feel alive. And a lot of times what it comes down to is every detail of the world being treated with care, so that as they add up to more and more than what each individual piece represented, because they were thought about being added in the context of the others. And so when you do this, you essentially weave a tapestry of meaning. And that's how you, like, something where a zone can feel so memorable to a player who might not even really be able to articulate exactly why. They can feel it. They can sense that everything has been intentionally added. I'll give you this link right now, but yeah, it's a loss. It's very, very sad. That's the link to this video where he was chatting. Also, Wolf of Mandalore, thank you for the 22-month resub. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I think Bill and the team, but Bill, he was leading this team for a long time. Man, I think he was even involved recently on Overwatch 2 as the senior art director. He has spent his entire career just defining what the Blizzard games would look like and helping make sure that the art style remained iconic and true to itself. It's this sort of timeless cartooniness that it's so full of character and it's so full of charm. A lot of that is because of Bill, so it's a big loss. But now, I guess he will live on in all of this beautiful art that he's made in every zone that he's touched. Places like Sentinel Hill, where you can, even today, there's, I'm sure, countless new players who end up in a place like that, and it's just, they get to take it in for the first time, and that's awesome. So there's actually, I found out that there is an NPC that was named after him, who is in Duskwood. It's Watcher Petras. And I thought I would share that with y'all. Maybe you could go and pay him a visit and pay your respects there. Watcher Petras, the Night Watch. Yeah, that's named after Bill. So I'm sure a lot of people will be going over to pay respects to Bill Petras in Duskwood. So yeah, thought I'd tell you about that too. I definitely wanted to spend some time honoring his memory here today, because this game, I loved this game for many years, and a lot of it is because I've been captivated by the art of it.